What up?
What's up, man? Wow,
That sounds
all the
perfect.
new technology, man, is killing me.
Yeah, I figured you'd be one of you. Well, actually, you have to stay on the cusp of it. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I know, but it's too much, man.
Uh-oh. Which are
Yeah,
you? You got the iPhone. Doesn't that make everything easy? Or you got a
not
Droid?
for me, bro, not for me.
Okay. Yeah, not for me either. Actually, I think Siri's pissed at me. I think she's mad. She takes it out on me sometimes, and then she's like, "You just don't touch me right." And then that's it's like battered. Like iPhone users are like they got battered wife syndrome. Because then when you're like, man, my iPhone's retarded, it can't just forward a text. I can't just like and then forward it. Like, obviously I want to do. I have to go through. And they're like, oh, you just got to do the thing like this. And you're like, oh yeah, I didn't touch it right. Yeah, that's the problem. If I had dinner ready, I wouldn't have the black eye. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I use
Oh,
my iPhone only to call people, man. Other than that, it's I don't know. And text.
what about
My
the
wife
awesome
is my
camera?
wife is always coming up with new things. Oh, you could do this, right? And I'm
Mm,
like, nope.
yeah. Yeah. It takes such a special way to use it. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe droids actually. Yeah, I remember complaining about them when I had one too. So I had to go for the phone. It makes my tattoos look better. Is that,
Not
it applies the filter.
good, man. Good.
You use it for the camera too or not?
Sometimes,
Okay.
yeah.
I would be curious because you have an affinity for cameras.
Yeah, it's way different. It's way different. This,
Occupational affinity for cameras, which we should get in. Tony Romel, welcome to Straight to Point, completely off topic with your host, Kyle Dunbar. Today we have Tony Romel here. Tony Romel is one of the most influential people in tattooing ever. I don't know if
dang,
I'm gonna stick with that. Like somebody could argue it, I'd argue it against them. Tattoo Society, your magazine, has been one of the most instrumental in bringing the highest caliber tattoo
no,
artists from all over the world. I'm not wrong here.
no, you're not, sir.
Okay, right. I'll let you brag yourself up a bit if you would like. I don't know. Is that going to be hard? Is it hard to? Are you humble or you kind of
No,
egotistical when it
I'm
comes
humble.
to?
I'm humble. I just like it when people acknowledge it, though.
Well,
You know,
there's a huge truth. You know it. It took. I watched it. I watched what it took. You had to be uber critical and sometimes a dick.
yep,
Is that right?
yeah,
I shouldn't say sometimes a dick, but there are a lot of people who will think that of you. But the truth of the
yeah,
matter was they weren't passing the grade. And then
ex-
there are others I've known personally who wanted to pass the grade, make it into Tattoo Society, and they were not making it. And then they finally realized it was in them. Actually, I think you had a conversation. I don't want to name names. And the next thing their tattooing went up. It's like you helped. And by doing that, I got to figure if that happened in that one instance, then it happened across the board. And we see tattooing now, or fucking A, right?
yeah, yeah.
It's,
That's a,
it's, it, in your time, even the number of extremely talented artists, there used to be a handful of them that made up your magazine almost. And now
it's too many now.
I
It's
dare
too.
say you had a hand in that.
Oh wow.
No, right? Yeah. Listen, what is it? They say the song Rock Around the Clock was on the B album of some rock and roll album that nobody really listened to.
Yeah,
However, a movie maker then looking for a new song that was like, what's these kids into these days? Well, one of the producer's sons was into this album and he really liked it. But on the B side, the side that never gets any play, had the one song easy to buy because nobody liked it, and it became the longest running hit in like music history. Like it
Yeah.
charted on the top 100 for like 50 fucking years or some shit. All because of distribution. The song wasn't different. They didn't change it. It was out for years and years. But after it finally got enough people hearing it,
Right.
they're like, oh, that's awesome. And the same thing here. Like when we got to Tattoo Society magazine, there was the Tattoo Review, Tattoo Magazine, and not bad publications. And in them would be 7 or 8 really good tattoo photos that you would, and then there would be Tattoo Society, which was full of only those 7 or 8 style good. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that gave us all the idea of what we could achieve, and then it set us on the path. That's what I believe.
Yeah. I think I made if I may say so, I made a for artists to be a goal to be in my magazine, so
Hmm.
then like they would prepare, they would uh get better, get better, get better, then they just kept sending their material until finally I would say, or I would think they good enough now.
Hmm.
And like again, I don't want to mention names, but a lot of artists went through that. They wanted to.
You saw it personally then, is what
Oh
I imagine, and I've known actually to have happened in 1 or 2 cases.
yeah,
You're at your desk and it's happening on a daily basis.
right, right, yep. Man, I remember when before the new technology, people would send pictures or CDs of their work.
Mm.
That my office was packed up, and I would
Who
have
was
to.
it? Were you the one going through all those?
Yeah, I have to, bro.
Mhm.
You have to do it yourself. I mean, if I have I used to work for Skinner and Tattoo Review and other magazines. Again, I'm already mentioning names that I didn't want
Uh-oh.
to, but
Strike those. Everybody for the jury at home.
yeah, but I was the art director by then. But there will be a lot of hands include in it, and always we choose like bad pictures or our friends of them, and I was not with it. I
Mm.
want
There
the
was a
one.
political aspect to getting
Yes.
printed.
And yeah, and so I decided to make my own magazine. It's only me, as you know it.
Hmm. And that's what you found was one of the. I'm betting that was one of your bigger successes was that you were in control
Yeah,
of that at that high regard. Because when you did outsource it like that, we began hearing it like this artist is liked by this editor and all their shit will make it in. Or, if you make it on the friends list with that artist now, then your stuff might start making it in. They're weird kind of little political things.
right. And
But
I
that
didn't want to that.
no, and that held us all back too, I feel. Because then now you're worried about how you make political connections as opposed to becoming a better artist.
Right.
And that is time poorly spent when we're an artist. So I don't know. I want to give you that credit, obviously. And I hope I am that I believe you pushed a lot of this because one of the things we did is we'd see people in your magazine. We're like, oh my God, that art is, I thought,
Yeah,
unachievable. And then we would go and seek out those artists. And then we would take seminars or learn from them or follow them so closely that we started to know everything about them.
that's it. Yeah, you
Like
got
Steve
it.
Butcher's favorite breakfast. You're like, why should you need to know that? Well, fuck, man. If it makes you tattoo any closer to him,
Yeah.
who is
Yeah.
it? Did you see people rise then? Like some of your favorite artists. I imagine I saw them first in your magazine. I feel like you went abroad also to bring
Oh, yeah.
them to bring an international flavor.
Yeah. And I'm still doing it. Yeah.
Hmm. Oh yeah, we got to get to that because you are alive in a dead genre.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Exactly.
you're aware, but every
Oh, yeah.
day somebody tells me that your genre of actual physical magazine, like in your hand, you can touch and feel it,
Yeah.
is no longer a needed space and it's completely gone. How are you competing here?
Um, see, like that. I think that's what people think. Like Instagram and Facebook made things easy for a lot of them.
Mhm.
But you know how it is. It's like a cycle, man. People are getting tired of Instagram. I'll give you an example. Like if I was let me put one picture on Instagram.
Mhm.
That pic that picture will be on Instagram and people will see it maybe in 2 minutes, 3 minutes. After that, somebody else will put a better picture. So your picture was forgotten. But when you get it
Immediately.
a physical, like the magazine, it's in there. It's like it's never gonna go away because it's there. It's published, and
Mhm.
for a lot of artists, it's like a trophy to be in it. I was when last week I was hanging with my brother Jesse Yen, who I'm sure you know who that is. I don't. It's one of the
Famous
best
name, big kid, heavy
artists.
hitter.
Yeah.
I first
So
met him through you.
yeah, I think so at my party.
No, no, I definitely in 2009, and we got to get
Yeah,
to the Romel Awards eventually. But I
yeah.
don't want to interrupt your story. Please go on with Jess Shen.
Well, he was telling me how I am the only magazine now because
Mhm.
you know like Dr. Blasphemy was saying at the Philly convention, every other magazine is being they sold it to big corporations. The only one alive is Tony Romel and blah 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 Tattoo Society magazine. It's the same thing that Jess Yen was saying. Like, hey Tony, listen, your magazine is still there. And like all forget about all this Instagram and whatever. The magazine, just keep it. And I
Because
am.
it's still that right. I think there's as we watched comic books, like I don't know, there was this push in comic books. I'm kind of a collector, and I've kind of died off a lot because of the new age of comic. They were trying to push these CDs on you. They're like,
Yeah.
no, don't buy the comic, buy the CD. It's always going to be this pristine, comic. You never have to worry about the pages getting, photo light decreasing. There, you don't need to get it graded. It's always this, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, but fuck that. Like the
Yeah.
feel of the magazine was the nostalgia. Um,
Yeah.
and so I feel like there's got to be something there that
Yeah.
is that your magazine still serves a purpose
Yeah.
somewhere in the tattoo magazine world. Not, I guess I shouldn't say in tattoo magazine world, but in the tattoo shop world. Like you
Yeah.
sit down, you want to be next to an outlet. Damn it, you're not. Somebody else is already fucking using it for their iPhone. You're at a tattoo shop. First off, there's not a plug that's available because every tattoo artist is charging their batteries and their iPhones nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah.
So um, and then you're sitting down. So, but now you have a magazine in your hand,
Yeah.
some of the best art in the world, and it
Yeah.
starts to help you dream. It passes the time. There must be there must be a large group of people, or large enough that you're doing good.
That
Has it?
yeah. I
How
was
has
gonna
it changed? Is it
I,
now that there's no one else out there? Does it actually put more of your magazine in people's hands?
so I wonder because see, this
Mm-hmm.
is what it is. Like, like all the
Oh,
online magazine, which is not the same. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's not.
mm-hmm.
And so they were like, some people will be like, "Hey, Tony, man, you got to get online." And so I went to my distributors. That's the first thing you got to do. And you ask them. You have a meeting and hey, man, how's my business going? If my distribution would have tell me, yeah, Tony, you're dying, then I would have stopped. But you know what? It's like every issue, there's more people, more people, more people, and the business just is there. So why would I do it? If I'm like I'm having fun, I'm still doing my magazine. I
The
don't
only
want.
reason to do it then would so you could stay up on the technological curve. Because
Yeah,
isn't there still the chance you become a
yeah.
I mean, driving around our future cars on your bones, man. Um, yeah, it's irony there that there is this technological shift. You don't like that either necessarily, right? You only use your iPhone for calling people. Is
Yeah.
that you have a $1,200 phone in your pocket? We're going back to 1980s. Like, I got a car phone. It takes up my back seat.
Yeah. I mean, I know a
Um,
little. I could text.
okay, right on. The other important things. You know how to send a dick pic, then. That's what you're saying. I follow you. That's
Yeah.
why I got the iPhone. It's got perspective, and you can put it
Yeah.
on that, and you just make it look longer. Put it on landscape. No, my penis is huge. All right,
Yeah. And so
moving
yeah,
on. You meant a
I
lot
mean,
to me in my art. I'm sorry. Go on.
it's all about that. Like there's I still got subscribers. Every day I get like a lot of subscribers, and business is good. Like I said, if they would have advised me, yeah, Tony, things are dying, then I would have, gone online. But why? If things are even
I
better.
I proposed that at one point advertisers like this better, not just because it holds up the old status quo, but
Yeah.
also because there is a romantic idea, right? That
Yeah.
your advertisement lasts forever too.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm scrolling past picture after picture, I know right away if you're a fucking advertiser, right? Cool tattoo, cool tattoo. Oh, fucking try and sell me some shit. Fucking you're gone. Cool tattoo, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they have this hard problem of engaging this person who is, they're already a millennial. Is that where they are now? Gen Z, like they have no attention span as it is, and they just have to move their thumb up to go past the obvious advertisement. They have a real tough time. Meanwhile, you make an
Yeah.
advertisement form that engages with the person on the reader, and that
Yeah.
person goes back and flips through the page 3 times. Well, it just imprinted in their brain already 3 times.
Yeah.
Every time it sits down, if that magazine lasts in the shop for months, the
Right.
chances of advertising those people are greater too. To me, that's the romantic idea of behind, well, if I spend my money just right, I can get
Yeah.
the best buck for my advertising.
Yeah. You see, that's another one. You just hit the spot. A lot of other magazines, they don't advertise, and so they die. My magazine, I have a waiting list, bro. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Fuck.
it's amazing. Thank God, But
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. Not even with the virus, I suffer. In fact, the virus helped a lot. I don't
Oh,
want to
yeah.
say.
Because people were at home and they wanted to buy,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
wow.
So
You're the
yeah,
one person praying for another kick, another variant, huh?
yeah.
um, I want to move on to the Romel Awards. You were so influential in my life without even knowing who you were. And then one day I see somebody with Bono glasses and a very expensive camera. And I was taught by Brandon Bond. I don't know. You remember the videos. Brandon Bond was one of the worst people. I don't mean to say that. He was one of the first people to come out with a video teaching higher level tattooing
Right,
techniques, right?
right, right.
And he's got a way about him. Well, in that he said that if you ever see anybody at a tattoo convention with a big camera, immediately go to the bartender and buy him a drink because that person is valuable to you. You'll want to know them and understand them and befriend them. And don't be a dick. He wasn't saying like be a fake friend. He was saying, no, that's a cool person because he can help you a lot. He works for a magazine. That camera's big enough, especially back in the day. You seen a big camera, you knew he wasn't, just taking photographs for his scrapbook.
Yeah,
Well, I
that's
see
a.
Tony walking, and for some reason you had a big hyacinth hair. It must have been around Christmas time because you started calling me Chris. You called me Santa Claus for a minute. I hope I
I
don't divulge too much about your young past, but I gave you a joint because I didn't have a clear path to the bartender.
I
But
still do.
that you still
I
what?
still do call you Santa Claus.
Okay, because it was good, right?
It was good, man. It was good
Uh,
for the whole. for the whole weekend.
Nice. I remember I gave it to you, or I showed it to you, and I was handing it to you, but you're like, "Oh, I don't have time, man. I'm so busy." I was like, "No, no, no. This is yours. This is simply so you remember my ugly face." And I think at the next tattoo convention I saw you at, you did remember my ugly face, and you invited me out to the Romel Awards. I don't know,
Yeah.
were they called the Romel Awards?
Yeah.
They were okay, which was one of the most awesome experiences I've ever had. I ended up painting next to Jess Yen, John Clue, um,
Bob Bob
Roman
Terrell.
Abrasia, was Tyrell there?
Yeah.
Was he painting? Um,
No painting, but he was there.
okay, yeah,
But the
yeah.
whole
That's I feel like that's Bob didn't. I was blown away. I'd never seen a world like that. One Last Rites Tattoo Studio is amazing. It's
yeah.
a museum. I'd never seen such an awesome congregation of artists, and all of them getting a chance to put some artwork on the wall. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I had to stop that though, man, because it was killing me. I only did
Well,
what, three, four, five,
okay.
five.
What was it too much to put together along with the magazine?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It's too much. Imagine me having hosting a convention. It will probably kill me. So it was just
Yeah.
a party, and it was hard. Why? Because I wanted to make it nice, and it was killing me. But who knows? Maybe I'll come back to that. You know?
Yeah, maybe it can have its own red carpet issue.
Yeah.
Dude, that place was like a red carpet, especially when we met that night for the actual awards, because
Yeah.
it was just a litany of the who's who of the best artists in the world. Then Joshua Carlton, I believe, won Color Portrait Artist of the Year or possibly Artist of the Year. And
Yeah.
I got to meet Pete Carino, Jamie Carino. Man, that
Yeah.
was awesome time. That
Yeah.
was like to me the heyday of tattooing. It's changed a bit since then.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
I mean, I feel like there's almost a desire to have that kind of a red carpet thing again. It's not anywhere else, right?
I don't know. I don't
Nobody's
know.
really celebrating art and tattoo art, especially like that was.
No, I don't think so. I haven't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But
No, if here's why I ask. See, you would
you
definitely
know what
be
it
invited,
is?
and if not, then they didn't do it properly. So you would know. If you don't
Yeah.
know, it's not happening, Tony.
Yeah.
At least
That's
that's going to be my takeaway.
that's a good way to put it. Yeah. I do
Yeah, I
get
don't
in,
think they can be.
I do get invited though to a lot of parties, but what it would take is like I like to see who's there. If I don't see anybody that I know, you know what I'm saying, then I'd be like, oh, here we go again. They just invited me uh to be in the magazine, you know.
Mm,
Um,
like you bring, okay.
yeah.
Does that work? It doesn't work. That doesn't
Now,
work.
it used to work like, when I was younger because I knew there would be free beers. But now
Uh-huh. You can afford your own alcohol now.
yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, anyway, I haven't um experienced something like the parties I used to do, in those days. But I think
Mhm.
it was 5 or 4. And
That you
man,
did.
really hard liquor. Oh man.
Well, also, I'm guessing if you're taking such a personal approach with your tattoo magazine and you're going through all the editing process yourself, then you're probably a bit of a control freak. Is that
Uh,
possible?
I am
The type
perfectionist and
of control freak that
to
is
the
going to
limit.
have an awesome party, but it's
Yeah.
going to take everything out of you and you have little left for the magazine. Is that what you found too?
Yeah. Yeah. That's I just especially now, man. I just want to have some days off. But before if I get another thing to do, it would probably kill me and go bold or something. Because then I wanna make it the best. Just like I'm doing with the magazine. I always wanted to make the best magazine, not just the magazine, because any monkey could do that. But no, I wanted to be the best. And
I
so
think you
it's
explained that's where your dream kind of came working for other people. You
right.
must have been seeing things that you're like, this is not how you make the best.
Oh man, I used to get mad, man. I used to argue with the boss and I'm like, come on, man, because I'm an artist myself. So I'm like,
Hmm.
can you put
I,
pictures? There's quality, it's not gonna show it. And their answer would be like, who cares? Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, you know.
because it's not important, is that what they're also saying then?
Yeah,
We're still
yeah,
getting advertisers.
exactly. Then once I came to the map, then they lost a lot of advertisement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Funny. I bet they were happy to get rid of you at one point and then laughing at one point also about you starting your own and then
yeah.
also eating all that crow. I believe is the expression my grandfather would call it.
Yeah.
But after you talk some smack and then you got to eat it, that's eating crow, and they would have to eat quite a bit.
Yeah. Once they
I
saw
mean,
my they try to change their quality. But they already had a bad name.
mhm.
Uh, yeah. For me it was why my magazine it's important for a lot of artists is because not only I get the best of the best, but it's also the quality of the magazine. I don't care if I have to spend a lot of money because it is a lot of money to print, but it's important to me to look good and for the photos also to so that you could appreciate the tattoo, the way it is,
Yeah,
you
some
know.
magazines would go through a hardship and then they would print like half the magazine black and white or half on newsprint as opposed to on photo papers, where
Right.
they would lower the quality of different. You could definitely tell. You've never seen that with yours. Now, but you also said that you are an artist, but you are a
Right.
tattoo artist. Not just,
Yes.
I mean, you're an artist, you're also a tattoo artist. What
Yeah.
did you do? Were you working in the magazine before you started tattooing or vice versa?
uh I was in a band.
Big
it
surprise.
Yeah,
What are you? You're the
young
guitarist, you're the singer. You're the singer,
singer,
of course.
always the front man.
Okay, yeah, of course. That's
But
what I was gonna say. I'm trying to think. Romel, what's he gonna do? Does he play guitar? No, that thing's in the way. You can't see my beautiful face beyond this guitar.
yeah, yeah, man. I got to show my moves.
You got
Yeah.
moves like Jagger too. So you're in a band doing your moves like Jagger, not getting the guitarist chicks. You're getting straight up singer chicks, this
Yeah.
singer groupies. And what you decide to tattoo backstage? What?
No, no. I guess I went to school for graphics and design and computer and animation and all that type. End up working in MTV for a little bit
What
as an
were you working on?
intern in MTV.
Just shit work. Then that's what you're saying, right? You're
No,
paying some dues.
I forgot the name of what you call that, but like MTV News, when you see that little
Mm-hmm.
let's say talking about some artist, and then you see his photo on behind that the guy giving the news. That
Yeah,
was me. That was me. But it was
you were
like I
putting
said,
that little green
yeah.
screen thing up.
There is a name for that. I forgot. I can't believe it.
It's your
But
own job. You forgot. Okay.
yeah.
Well,
But
you were
anyway,
good at it, I see then. No
yeah.
wonder
But
you make it to magazines.
well, again, it was only an intern, and it was at night
Yeah.
and at nighttime, and I hate it. I live in the Bronx, So taking the number two train is like it's fun, but it's dangerous. You know.
Right.
So it was
And you're doing
really
it for basically free.
yeah. You know. So
Hmm.
I I don't remember how something I saw that they needed an artist uh for Outlaw Biker, and I'm
Okay.
like, what that, and then I saw the what they were paying, which it wasn't really, what I wanted, but I thought it was cool,
But it
like
was
to,
better than free at MTV.
yeah, exactly. And plus it was like, oh, bikers, hell yeah, that's me. And
Okay.
then and then I
Fuck
saw
Kurt
another
Loder.
one. Yeah,
I don't give a
and
shit about him.
yeah, and I saw another for an illustrator, which that's me. I'm an illustrator,
Hmm.
and and so I sent both resumes. But what I did is that I sent the wrong one. The
Okay.
illustrator sent it to the Outlaw Biker, and the Outlaw
Right.
Biker to the illustrator. And I guess that mistake, the Outlaw Biker magazine loved it, and so they hired me, and that's it.
Despite it not being, you weren't even applying for the right job.
Yeah,
Outlaw
and
Biker wasn't the artist. It was the editor. It was, what was that?
he was
That job.
the publisher who liked the mistake that I did, that I sent, the wrong resume. He loved it, and
They recognized that you sent the wrong resume, or he thought
yeah,
he's
yeah.
a genius. Let me see. Here's I just realized it. He's a
He
fucking
called me
genius.
the he called me the next day laughing, and he said, "Well, why don't you come over and let's talk?" And I went, and within, I want to say, 6 months, I became the art director. And then I got to, I liked the way that magazine worked, and going to conventions, going to biker rallies. I just love that life, and I'm like, wait, you know
I
what?
see.
I'm
Do you
still
see
a
why I say he's a genius? He was hiring one person and paying one salary, and he knew he was getting a two-person, like a double, right? By you
yeah,
sending him the wrong one, he's like, what's this idiot sending me? Oh, he was probably trying to get this job. He's a talented motherfucker. I better
yeah,
steal him before this other person realized okay, anyways. You loved the bike magazine because you could go to the bike shows. And the
yeah.
bike magazine wasn't just for Outlaw Biker, because Outlaw Biker ran a tattoo review section and another couple of publications, right?
Exactly. There you go. So then the rest is history. And so I got to meet people, tattoo artists, and then from there I was getting excited, and from there is that I also started tattooing. I could have done that younger, but my father didn't allow me to do that. The same old story. Oh, you don't mess with other people's blood
Okay.
and shit like that. But once I got my job, then I saw the tattoo magazine, and I'm like, you know what, I can do this. And uh,
Some of these
it,
publications, Tony, we're talking some years ago.
oh yeah,
Like Outlaw Biker Review, that was out before they were tattooing with gloves.
yeah. Wow.
I mean, right?
Yeah,
You weren't working with them in that era, or like everybody was
yeah.
gloved up for the most part when you were there.
when it when it was illegal, bro. When it was illegal in New York, imagine, what's that, like
Mm.
the '90s, some shit like that. You know, so
Yeah,
imagine
30
that's
years ago.
30.
Yeah,
Yeah,
30, yeah, 30 plus maybe even. Because it was
yeah,
outlawed in the city of New York for a long time, right?
yeah, yeah.
The state of New York, didn't they allow it, or am I wrong?
It was illegal.
All over the state.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. I remember Spider Webb used to get around it because you could do anything you want if you claimed to be an artist, pretty much. So you could
Yeah,
he dressed up like a vampire, and then he would tattoo a woman, right? And
yeah.
then that was all legal because it was a stage performance.
Wow.
Or that's the way I understood, or the folklore kind of that got back to
Yeah.
me. And you're kind of
Yeah.
like, well, that's genius. The same way, like, was it Dave Chappelle points out every time he's smoking a cigarette on stage in New York. He's like, I get to do this because I am a performer. And
Right.
they wouldn't want to have some Tennessee Williams play without somebody smoking a cigar. So they made this rule.
Yep.
So I think it was the same kind of rule the spider web used. But
Right.
moving on back. So you find a love though of actually doing the tattoos on people. I mean, you're making decent enough money. This isn't about money, right?
No, it's really more like uh making it good also. Again, like I like that. Whatever I do, I want to give it my all. And if I'm not good at it, I'm not gonna do it. But apparently, people like
You're
what
good
I
at
do.
tattooing.
Yeah,
But also, I'm guessing it makes you better at your job of editing
Ex-
tattoos.
yeah, and and just being around the best of the best. Also, you get some tips.
Hmm.
So I guess that's what I did. I imagine like I have I'm hanging with Nico while he's tattooing, so I'm like a sponge, just getting some techniques. I'm with Bob Terrell doing some black and gray, same thing. I'm like, wow, you know, I'm
What's your
getting.
favorite style of tattoo to do for yourself then?
I always like black and gray. That's always
Okay.
been my thing. I mean, I don't know, but that's only me.
What
Um,
makes black and gray appeal to you?
because it's my favorite color.
Okay. You're not
My
colorblind though.
uh, vampire wolf look type. So
I
it
got
just
you.
my style.
You like to look like you stepped out of a Twilight movie, and color realism don't necessarily go with it. That's more like, wait, no, you don't want to step out of Twilight. You want to step out of like a Fright Night movie or something. Twilight's more like if you're a color realism.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. It wouldn't. I don't think it would. It would go for
I
me. I
do
don't.
because I love it. I find it to be timeless.
Yeah,
Black and gray, it lasts better. It doesn't
yeah,
necessarily look more like more appealing, but to me it does, right? There's people
yeah,
like us that just we see it
yeah,
like that. I can see, and I know that you
yeah.
can, obviously you put them in your magazine, you can see color realism and it's just jaw dropping. I don't
Right,
know.
right, right. I
Something
love freaking stuff. I love everything, man. I mean, like I like new school, but that's not me. Right now, then it looks like tribal is coming back, but now they call it black work or that work, whatever. But it's
okay.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Right. It's like a
You know,
higher form of tribal. Like it
exactly.
still does a lot of the same things. It addresses the body the same way, only uses black work, but now
Yeah,
it uses shading and but it can
yeah,
fit the body and
yeah.
really accentuate that with no I like that because I'm kind of tired of having topics and themes to tattoos.
Right.
Like I just show me something pretty, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That goes with either your style, your body, or
Yeah.
whatever.
If it fits your body and makes your body look better naked,
Yeah,
then I think we're on a good path. But not that that's always who is I remember hearing Jeff Gogwe one time. He
yeah,
was making a criticism of a lot of artists who only tattooed for the photograph. And he says a lot of times you'll see an awesome tattoo, but then you back up from that awesome tattoo and you see all this other kind of tattoo around it and it doesn't really fit the body. It was basically
yeah,
just a stencil that, kind of a page in a book thing. I
yeah,
took that critique to heart at some point because in the end we are tattooing like bodies
yeah, yeah.
and
I do.
mine looks ugly from all the mistakes I made like that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're saying, and I've known a lot of collectors
Hmm.
that they just want a tattoo from this person, from the other person, from the other person, and it's all different styles. That in the end, your body just doesn't look good because you have so
Right.
many styles and on your body. If you will keep it one style, and then I don't know, it looks better for me. But that's me,
Yeah, well, yeah, because it's got the same aesthetic peel across the board, right?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you
yeah.
put too many styles on there, and you're like, well, what are you even going for, man? What are you even trying there?
Yeah.
Oh well. You yourself then tattoo black and gray, but you also tattoo mostly horror. Am I wrong on that?
My art, yeah. My people come with they come to me with an idea and they're like, but I want you to draw it. And so it's easier, when
Mhm.
it's your style, it's easier than when you bring a picture, because if it's your art, even if you make a mistake, nobody would know because it's mine, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know that completely. That's why I like drawing.
Art
And
that
someone looks at a
yeah.
stencil and
So
they're
it's
like,
my
wait a
art.
second, did you miss a part? Ah, fuck, he could tell.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I admire those photorealism and realism tattoo artists. I
Yeah.
admire them because they fucking have to do it right, you know.
Where do horror movies fit into this?
Uh, and so my tattoos,
Well, yeah, into everything there. I know you're a big fan.
yeah, yeah, especially
If you're
the
not working on your magazine
yeah,
or tattooing, right? You're
yeah,
watching horror movies.
right, right, right,
Or are you lying to us? This is what it says at the top of your page.
yeah,
Okay, you're not lying to us then.
especially the old movies. I don't know
Like what?
any
Old
like I'm
zombie
talking,
flicks and all?
more like
Older.
Frankenstein, and Bela Lugosi's type. Those are the
Hmm.
movies always will be number one for me. You know, Old to the '70s. The Exorcist or the
Okay.
first Halloween. Now I don't even know how many freaking Halloweens.
I think
They
they made it over 20, right? Because they did that
Jesus Christ.
H2O.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
But when Halloween first came out, you were a fan.
Oh yeah, the first one. I think it was '79. I think something.
Was it that long ago? What technology advances? It shows up in our movies in one of the greatest changes. Why would you like something that takes more imagination to play along with? Or you feel
Yeah,
it had more art?
I think so, man. I just like it's. I think I like the dirtiness and the blurriness of the old movies. The if you could say that how innocent it was, but
Okay.
I don't know. I think there was more genius and imagination that you know.
Okay. Yeah.
We could just go back to the first Star Wars, but that it was that's to me that was art. Now you got the new ones that is too much, bro.
Well, they
It's
are crap. You will definitely
yeah,
not get me to disagree with you there.
yeah. Well, I didn't want to say that, but it's more like yeah, it's
No, they're
just
crap. They're written for by like test groups that they you know what I mean? They test the audience. Who is it? Force Awakens. I don't even know who the bad guy
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. It's
Like if
just
you tell me it's Kylo Ren, I'm like, what made him bad? When he tore up his room because he was mad the droid was traveling with a girl? Like, this is dumb. I'm not
yeah.
scared of anything here.
Well, yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's asked me like I think it's that when technology wasn't too much. I liked it. Like
Like they had to rely more on the story and more of the
I like
inventiveness of the
it.
special effects people.
Yeah, yeah, like the puppets. Like I don't know if you saw John Carpenter, the
Hmm.
thing, first one with
Okay,
Kurt
yeah.
Russell. That
Yeah.
movie is like my favorite movie in the world, and
Oh,
it,
really?
yeah, oh yeah, I could watch that movie. Like, in
Well, what
fact,
about number two? Because that was
it's
basically
good.
just a few years
It,
later, right?
it's good. No, not a few years. I think the next decade. I think it took like
Okay.
a 10. But I do like it. I like the way they did it, but it was a lot of computers. It's not like the first one. You got that head falling down on the ground, and then he turns
Yeah.
into a spider, and you'd be like, "Whoa!" You know?
And when you're a kid, that
Yeah,
that freaks you out more because I mean, despite it being less real, perhaps, but still, it was kind of more real, right? Because
Yeah,
the actors are actually reacting to it instead of imagining that they're reacting to it, like The
yeah.
Rock or something riding a wheelie in Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah. And you see, like that's another one. I don't know about those movies. I don't know nothing. But
No,
it what
dude,
was
it's almost your style. Like you're a character out of one of them.
yeah.
Show up at night with you're the only person I know that has bat vision. Like I
Okay.
see you walk around in the dark with sunglasses on with some kind of weird echolocation. Like, how does he even know that? That's some Stevie Wonder level shit right there, man. How does he even know to get that joint? Like, he can't see it, right?
I'm hiding my eyes, bro, because I'm so fucked up. You don't want to see my eyes. It's
It's
blood.
more about what we want. I appreciate that. Good looking out for us. Thank you.
Oh
Oh, and
yeah,
you've seen tattoos change. Amazing. You've seen the magazine world change. You've seen tattoos change. Your biggest takeaway from where they were at, where you started way back in the day with tattoo biker review or outlaw biker, right?
yeah.
To where we are now with
I'm
TV
gonna
shows like this. Hmm.
yeah, I'm gonna go straight to the point, bro. But
Hmm.
again, only me. I think that before, and you experienced it too, because I met you by then. I think
Hmm.
that the tattoo industry was more there was more togetherness. You know, like there was friendly people. Nowadays, if that's the question, I'm
I think,
thinking
yeah.
that's
Well, I'm
more or less
asking what your kind of takeaway, and I've seen as the
yeah,
groups have grown, they've grown diverse, but they've also kind of
yeah,
clicked up. Then is that what
yeah.
you'd say?
And they don't give a shit to meet you. You know, like you see what's up. You go to the Philly convention and nobody wants to meet you. Like really? You know, like I could be
Mm.
next to my booth. It could be an artist that wants to be in the magazine, but he wouldn't come and shake your hand or something.
Oh, yeah.
But in the old
Well, we're
days,
missing he'll probably send you a DM on the Instagram though.
yeah, yes, that he could, you know. But I remember like back in the days, like how fun it was to go to conventions because you know that I'm gonna meet Kyle and have a joint with him. I'm gonna meet this guy and the other one and have a beer with them. You know, it was like going to a prom night or you
Yeah.
know. But
At
nowadays,
one level too, there was when you wouldn't know that you might be talking to somebody that you loved because you would follow their artwork, but you wouldn't see their face almost ever. And then one
right?
day you're talking to someone at the bar, and he's a cool enough guy. And then you walk away and someone's like, "What were you talking about with Brian Everett?" And you're like, "Yeah, that's Brian Everett."
Yeah,
You know, I'm first time I met Jack Rudy, I had no idea it was Jack Rudy, you know,
yeah,
but I was well familiar with his work. And when
right.
you get to, I don't know, to me, there was this beauty of that. Like you felt like you were standing in a room of stars at that point because you had no idea that any of them weren't. And so
Yeah,
you kind of treated everybody with that same level of respect. Maybe that's
respect.
where the friendship came in too,
Yeah,
or the community, is
that's the
because
word.
we're a
That
community.
respect. I think that's the word right there because
Okay.
there is any respect right now. Like you know, anybody uh can grab a pen or a machine and they just think that a tattoo is easy. Well, let's say it's easy, but then after that, what? Like you got to know who the people that open that door for you, but
Yeah.
they don't care. They like,
There's
you
not
know,
as much. I've seen that. It's a continual complaint with me that I know that a lot of artists feel you are worth something to them, and you will be worth the most thing in the world right up
yeah,
until a point. At the
yeah,
point that they surpass you in their ability or whatever they imagine, I feel like they are so often to be like, okay, well, I've used you up and on to the next one. Oh my God, I like this guy's artwork. And you're like, what
right,
happened to Chop Liver over here? Like,
yeah,
fuck you. You know, I feel like I see a lot of people that are prepared to do that. And I think it's not, it's based on a misunderstanding of where we stand because we don't have as much history. Our
right,
history is told by the mouth and with less community. there's
Right,
less people talking by the mouth.
right, right.
You got a
Yeah.
history section in your in Tattoo Magazine yet? Tattoo Magazine, I'm sorry, in Tattoo Society yet?
I've done some. Uh, it's
With as much control as you have, though, this is something that you would have to do yourself, I'm imagining, right?
yeah. Yeah.
You're like, you're
I
getting the Percy Waters story all fucking wrong. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have to do this myself.
yeah.
All right, push the
I
publication date off another month.
it's 2 months. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Take my
sorry to
time,
get
bro.
off topic, but I don't know if that is off topic, and I guess that's the name of the show. But I share a similar. I don't want to phrase it as a complaint, right? But
Yeah.
it's a observation, and I don't find it to be a good observation. So if there's anybody listening, you want to try and, I believe we should recognize that we're standing on the shoulders of giants, and it's important to know whose shoulders you're on, because those motherfuckers will drop you,
Yeah.
and they give you a strong foundation. If you think you're doing it by yourself, and you're standing on a flimsy ass thread of a ladder, and it can be broken by any level of cancel culture.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Moving on. That's the past. And that's so where are we going though? You're still an architect of the Tattoo Society of which, and I don't just mean that by the term of your magazine. You chose that name for a reason, but I mean the actual society, the community of tattoos. You've been a great influencer, and I haven't seen that shift, despite whether or not people want to know, your name or have the balls to say hi to you because they're more busy being a
Yeah.
keyboard warrior somewhere. Where do you see it going in the future, and how are you going to direct that?
Oh man, it's that's a hard one. And again, I'm just gonna keep doing the best, bro. The best I can. I don't let nobody telling me, oh, you should do it like this or do it like that. So I guess that's why it's been a success. I'm just gonna continue do my thing. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I can't be mad at that. Not when it's
yeah,
left a successful, wake of
right.
tattooing in its past.
Yeah,
Because it is about the magnifying glass. Your
yeah,
magnifying glass really showcased the world to everybody else. If you wanted to, I'm imagining for the people that cast my show,
yeah,
they started with magazines. They put a bunch of feelers out to the high level people, right?
right.
Like Shane
Yeah,
O'Neill was in your magazine,
yeah. Wow.
right? And he ends up getting cast on Ink Master for the first season. It not
Right.
I don't think that there was, like, if I'm a casting director, right? Isn't that what I'm gonna do? If I'm like, well, we want to
Yeah, yeah,
find
yeah.
the best artists in the world. All right, let's go buy some magazines. You don't have Google, Instagram wasn't out then. They had to go,
Yeah.
and so what do they find? They probably found Outlaw Biker that you weren't working out anymore. Man, I better not run down too many names, but it wasn't the same, right? And then they find Tattoo Society, and they're like, I think we just found the treasure trove, guys. We need to
Yep.
hit these motherfuckers up.
Yeah. So that's what I yeah, with that question, I'm just gonna be doing the same thing, bro. The same thing I'm doing. Uh no change. Because what change would I do? If you qualify to be in the magazine, then you qualify. There's no politics.
What about directing the
Body.
community in any fashion? Obviously, there's ways you would like them because we had some kind of complaints. So, how if you had the ear, and I hope we do, of young artists coming up in the industry right now, and you would try to direct them into a more favorable path, what would you say to do?
I would, and I always tell people like to go to seminar. I
Mm.
think that's a good one. Um, you know, respect the respect other type of tattoos, even if that's not what you do, you know. It's still a
Yeah.
tattoo, you know.
And there's still a person that made it.
Yeah. But that my suggestion that I always tell people, like, get an artist,
Mm.
and buy the invest on your equipment and go to conventions. Yeah.
Okay. And with that being said, from Tony Romel, who is it we should have our eye on to take seminars from and to watch their work progress right now, as you have found us a treasure trove of the world's best and brought them to our attention. You are influence to our industry and myself and other artists to come up. If anybody's listening, get on Tattoo Society, because not only was it what it was, it still is, despite it shouldn't be, and it will be determining the future of so much more because of it, because of you.
Thanks, brother. Well,
Thank
it's
you.
an honor to be, talking to you. I thought it was video because I wanted to see your face.
Oh, you don't want to see this, man. We want to see yours, but we're gonna put up a real pretty still. You're gonna send me your best Bono picture.
That's just easy. Tattoo Society Magazine.com.
I figured as much, and I think we said the name throughout it. You don't. All right. We love you, brother, man. Thanks for being a part of this. You bring so much to the tattoo world and now to my platform. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bye.
Yes, sir.